The Sly Cooper series was one of Sony's many masterpieces on the PlayStation 2. The original trilogy was created by Sucker Punch Productions, and the fourth title by Sanzaru Games. Since then, it's been a rough ride for fans. A cancelled movie, a cancelled TV show, and numerous ports over remasters have left the Sly community feeling like Sony has forgotten about Sly. Despite this, the community has held on to hope, and I think it's time we get some good news. I've been working on a project that you guys might find interesting. I'm making Sly 5. Well, kinda. Eight months ago, I posted a sneak peek of my project on Reddit. It was well received for the most part, but one comment got me thinking. I'm talking about making a full-scale 3D platformer all by myself. But why me? I have no video games released under the LegendDairy brand, and nowhere on my social media have I even suggested that I can make games. I feel like I need to prove myself, and I think I know how. Sly 2 Band of Thieves is considered by many fans to be the best title in the series. The gameplay, the aesthetics, and music perfectly capture the world of Sly Cooper. Since the community knows this game so well and considers it to be the definitive Sly experience, why don't I remake it? Episode 1, The Black Chateau, acts as an in-game tutorial, introducing all of the playable characters and the structure of the episodes. Not only would this be the perfect test to prove myself, but it would also be good practice for any future Sly games I might make. With a plan set in stone, I ventured off on my mini project. Should I start with the character controllers? Maybe I should develop the AI. Actually, I decided to start slow and began by 3D modeling the hub world. This isn't typically recommended in game development. Game art tends to be the cherry on top, after you have a solid foundation for your game. Then you start making it look pretty. But at the time I began this project, my life was really busy. It has been 8 months since my first update, and a lot has happened in my personal life. With so much on my plate, I couldn't work on this project consistently. There were days, sometimes weeks, where I didn't have time at all. Knowing this, I didn't want to start coding only to come back later and be completely lost. So game art felt like the right move. The first thing I had to do was get some reference material. If you emulate Sly 2 on a PC, you can download a mod that adds a free cam. With this new powerful tool, I got everything I needed and began working on the ground level of Paris. It took some time, but I managed to get the streets filled in and the building foundations set. The map isn't a flat plane. It has quite a lot of dips and hills that I had to level out, but eventually got to my liking. The nightclub was the first big building on my list. I figured building it from the bottom up would be the easiest way to do it, so that's what I did. After I got the shape down, I finished the 12 towers that go all the way around and the dome on the roof. I felt like I needed some scale to make sure I was on the right track, so I built the front entrance and the fountain. The next logical move was building the peacock sign. This took me the longest to do by far, and honestly it still looks weird to me, but this doesn't have to be an exact one-to-one, it just has to be recognizable for everyone to understand what I'm going for. So I moved on. The patios and the balconies were my next target. It was at this point I noticed how often the devs reused assets. The balconies were pretty much the same all the way around the nightclub, so that made it pretty easy. To finish off the patios, I added some of the larger details, like the doors and the window you use to get to Dimitri's office. I had a few options when it came to tackling the courtyard, but just like the nightclub, I started from the ground up, doing the path and the pool of water, then the stone gazebo thing. I took my time on the back fence since I feel like it really adds to the style and atmosphere of Paris. My last goal were the background elements. The Eiffel Tower was quite easy, but I originally wanted to do smaller, simpler buildings that I would scatter around. This looked awful, so I started again and copied as best as I could the buildings and the layout from the original game. With the background elements done, you're all caught up on the last 8 months of progress. Okay, I want to use the last part of this video to address some topics that will most likely show up in the comments. The first thing I need to address is the legality of this project. Currently, I have no rights to the Sly Cooper IP. This means that if Sony sees the project and wants me to stop, I have to stop. Otherwise, I could have a lawsuit on my hands. I'm hoping that Sony doesn't care, but just in case, I'll have these disclaimers at the beginning of every video for this project to help ease their minds. Next, release date. Ignoring the last point, if I do release this project, it's not going to be for a while. I have almost no progress at this point, so as I get closer to completing the project, then we can talk about a release date. But for now, I'll say I do plan on releasing it. Next would be the game engine. Because I've only been 3D modeling, I have the flexibility to ask you guys about what game engine I should use. I'm the most comfortable with Unity, but I've been itching to learn Unreal. Using Unity will allow me to make progress faster as I know the game engine very well, but Unreal will expand my knowledge and skills for any and all future projects. So let me know your opinions in the comments below. Lastly, I know that this video isn't very special. I've showcased very little in the grand scheme of the project. My reason for this is because of the 8-month period I've been gone. I really just wanted to update you all on what I've been working on and my new adjusted plans. Moving forward, I'm going to put in as much time as I can into this project. If you guys would like to help support me, the link to my Patreon is in the description below. But you can always show support by subscribing to and following all of my social media platforms. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed today's video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. I hope you all have a fantastic day, and I'll see you next time.